Hey, Chev and Coach, we are here. We're the trade gods. We're talking about some mid-season risers, players that you may want to buy, and we see a rise happening. And who better to have on the show here with Chev and topic-wise, Orande Gadsden. Orande Gadsden is just phenomenal. Yards per target at the tight end position, number 2 at 11, fifth in yards per reception, number 1 in true catch yard rate. First downs per route run, he's number 8. He's already doing this in such a short amount of time. You know, the team pass plays per game, 39.7 is fourth for the Chargers. Pass rate over expectation is there. Chev, you got to be loving what's going on with Orande Gadsden. He has a tight end 1 overall finish this last week. He's been a top 12 tight end, and he just missed a third tight end 1 week in week 3 when he had 9.6 fantasy points. He was tight end 14. So we're starting to see the breakout happen, breakout occur. Got a couple trades up here, a 26 round 2 for Orande Gadsden, a 26 round 1. What's your read on these trades, and how happy are you about Orande Gadsden?
Brother. All right. So with this, I feel like the dude who was telling you just go buy one Bitcoin. You know, that's what this feels like right now. So obviously this was the perfect landing spot, and now he's completely overtaken Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin in pretty short order. But if you follow the breadcrumbs throughout, you saw this. So I absolutely love the price points right now. I mean, this is an ascending player in an offense that's a pass happy environment with a quarterback who is a borderline generational talent, depending on who you ask. I mean, this is the price of the brick is going up. Like, you were able to get him in the 4th round of a lot of your team, like a lot of your dynasty leagues, 3rd round. And now you can see 1 day ago, he just went for a 2026 1. There's a trade I don't know that we'll be able to pull up, but a guy was in the comments of another video, and he said that I waited too late, and now I had to pay a 1 and 2 late thirds for Orande Gadsden. So the belief now is this is where we live now. And I think that this is sticky. He's with, again, great quarterback. His coordinator, Greg Roman, was the guy who authored the Vernon Davis breakout of yesteryear. If you're over 30 years old, you know what that means. And the Mark Andrews breakout of 2019. So, guys, there's signal and there's noise. And this is definitely signal for being bullish on Orande Gadsden. How do you feel about that?
Hey, Theo Greminger, we love him. He was talking about on the fact that you can have players where it feels like you're buying high in the initial spike, because you have to get past yesterday's price on Orande Gadsden because the price of the brick has gone way up. And you almost have to freeze yourself in this moment and see if you can catch people trying to cash out. So there's probably somebody, that Orande Gadsden person, who trades for the 26 round 1 pick. They're thinking, I am cashing out and I'm going to be golden. But at that point, you sit there and have conviction that you're not buying at the top, that there's going to be more juice to squeeze, where you're buying high, but really along the way for the career path, what you're going to get, a leverage piece at the tight end position. And it seems like that's popping up more frequently with Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren. You already have Trey McBride. We're not nervous at all one bit about Brock Bowers. We know he can come right back. This is just part of what's going on. You have to see the fact that you can still buy high and still benefit. So I think at this point, that 26 round 1, that piece, you go, if your depth isn't there, if your tight end premium, especially if it's 0.5 tight end premium, like in this trade, you go and get yourself a Orande Gadsden and you don't look back. If you have depth, I'm in a situation where I have Tyler Warren and Jake Ferguson on a team, and I'm able to flex because of the 0.5 tight end premium. And we'll talk about Ferguson in a moment. I'm not necessarily inclined to send my 1 for Orande Gadsden, but depth leverage piece, absolutely go out and get them, because you've got another window. It's shifted from, tailing to the right, as Joseph says on our show, Bet on It. Tailing to the right, the price has moved over a little bit higher for Orande Gadsden from what it was? Can you take advantage of the people who are ready to jump off and still squeeze out more? So I love that. Great call, Chev, by you all off season. A great pick in the 4th round, 5th round rookie. And then, of course, you had late best ball. Great pick. Now we go to Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson, tight end finishes of 3, 3, 5, 2, 10. And he was the tight end 3 just this last week. So he's right up there. He is the tight end 1. Jake Ferguson, you just love to see it. And it's a high octane Cowboys offense. He was left for dead in Dynasty, left for dead on depth charts. Somebody I could not move. I tried to move him in so many different ways, finagle thirds, seconds, and a swap. It was not happening. Player for player, nobody was going for it. And I am glad people didn't bite. A lot of times, trades that don't happen, you're blessed with. Chev, we got a couple deals up here. Jake Ferguson for a 26 round 1, Otten in a 27-1 for Jake Ferguson. What's your stance here? He's running hot, but are you ready to cash out at that price?
No. This is a perfect environment for a tight end. And as long as his quarterback is healthy, he's going to be hyper targeted. So he dealt with injury last year when everybody was on him. I was heavy on Jake Ferguson last year in 2024. That Cowboys offense was just a shell of itself between Dak getting hurt and Jake Ferguson suffering injury and not scoring touchdowns. So I think that this is another guy to add to the list of tight end 1. So all of a sudden it went from just like a big 3 at the position to now you've got like 8 guys or 9 guys that you could throw in any week and they're going to give you a top 3 tight end performance. And like that's the separator is between the third, like those 3 tight ends at about 15 or 16 points a game, and then everybody else is going to be somewhere between like 11 and 9, from tight end 4 to like tight end 14. So if he's consistently giving you top 3 tight end performances and he's only 25 years old and the team committed to him long term, like what are we doing? Like this is, again, these are guys that are making differences in your lineup in tight end premium week in and week out. And he's been a great tight end just from a regular redraft fantasy perspective. This was a steal in the later rounds, even later than Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, David Njoku. Like he was in round 12, round 13, or you picked him up off of waivers after week 1. So this is found money. Yep. But it's delayed gratification because we all were on it and then a lot of people jumped off. But if you stayed the course, now you are profiting and you can sell for a great profit, but you might not be selling at the top, to be honest with you, because he's a red zone monster and he's in an elite offense. So do with that what you will.
And Dak Prescott is looking for him. That's just one of the most important factors. Can you be a top 2 option in your offense? Now he was, while CeeDee Lamb was out. Granted, you get CeeDee Lamb back, but you still get some junk volume. And this is a offense that can support 3 big weapons, and you can apply that tight end method to, hey, you're the 3rd option in the Cowboys offense. That's better than the 2 in a lot of other offenses. And in the red zone, he's getting the looks. And you made a good point about last year with Dak getting hurt. It just dampened what was happening and just the lethargy of having to wait another year and then get this boom goodness. It's kind of a blessing in 2 ways because delayed gratification and delayed trade rejections. I sent so many filler that if you look back into the history, the people who rejected them will be sick to their stomach for the output that we're getting. And then this doesn't even include the clump of tight ends. We got Harold Fannin Jr., who is just uprising with David Njoku out for injury, might get traded. So there's a ton of excitement. So we're talking Dynasty. Let's hear from the Podfather about our Dynasty Deluxe package.
If you play in Dynasty, you need Dynasty Deluxe, our premium package for Dynasty Leaguers. We rank over 300 players, updated every week, all year long. And there's a win now mode and a rebuild mode with superflex and tight end premium controls. and a Dynasty League sync, where you can say, sync down all of my sleeper teams, all my FFPC teams, and then you can browse around your leagues for who has needs, and then you can use our trade finder to see what kinds of trades are happening in leagues that are similar to the one I want to do. Then you can analyze trades using our trade analyzer, which balances the lifetime value, which includes pick values out to like 2028. All of that plus the rookie guide $25 value is included. So if you're just in one Dynasty League, Dynasty Deluxe is well worth it. And use your host's promo code, and you can bump up to all in and get $25 off.
Now let's go to Tetairoa McMillan, third in explosive plays. Amazing. You wouldn't really think that was happening with the way the Panthers offense has gone. This year, though, weeks 1 through 7, only one game where he approached a wide receiver 1 output. It was wide receiver 13 against the Cowboys. So still no wide receiver 1 game out there. We had talked about being the Drake London of the Carolina Panthers. Hey, we can get 9, 10 targets, run out easily every game, only show in town. And it started that way this season, 9, 10, 8, 8, 8. And then target totals of 5 and 5 the last 2 weeks. The bullish knee angle here is Andy Dalton, with Bryce Young being out possibly the next 2 to 4 weeks. You've got the Bills, the Packers, but then you have matchups against the Saints, the Falcons on the road, and then the 49ers, who are not the gauntlet that they used to be. So this could be a very good stretch for Tetairoa McMillan. I'm very excited about him to make that next step. You got some trades up here. Here's a challenging one. Tetairoa McMillan for Rome Odunze and Carson Wentz. It's really a 1-for-1. Tetairoa for Rome Odunze. Question, do we see him as a riser? And then are you acquiring at these prices, or do you need a different price point?
So this is really interesting, because I've been screaming from the mountaintops to go acquire Tetairoa McMillan, because I believe he's an unequivocal superstar, and we've seen the flashes of it. It just hasn't quite turned on its head yet, to where people are like, oh, there's that one red zone moment where he just absolutely, eviscerates someone. We got the 2 touchdowns against Dallas, but it was only on 5 targets. Last 2 games, he's only had 5 targets. So defenses could be adjusting to making sure that they take him away. I say that after he scored 2 touchdowns a week ago, but he faced Sauce Gardner last week. So this week against Buffalo, I do think he's in a good spot. They do play a ton of too high, so they'll be trying to take him away. But that's the beautiful thing about the way Dave Canales has used him, is that they were using him underneath. They're using him on catch and run opportunities, because he's awesome at that. We haven't seen the thing that we haven't seen yet that I want to see from him is the back shoulder fades, the big body receiver stuff. Like he's doing like body control, elite activity on that front. But to go back to the trade, all that to say, we're getting very close to this guy being a bona fide multiple first, like cornerstone asset. Like I wanted to move him in that direction very quickly, but it hasn't translated for fantasy. But again, I feel like I'm the Bitcoin guy. I would trade Rome Odunze and Carson Wentz for Tetairoa McMillan.
Hey, you love to see that, because Chev, I remember we talked in the redraft streets where I was sitting there saying, well, I got to get a little Tetairoa McMillan, I got to get a little Rome, and I flip-flop because I wanted to see the run out for both. And that's very important, because Chev, you're very high on Rome Odunze. I know how much you love him, but there's that delineation where you're seeing, hey, you love what Tetairoa McMillan has to offer. And I think this kind of goes towards, you were very high on Drake London preseason. And if you see that similarity of a Tetairoa McMillan, there's that archetype to cling to. And it could end up being a situation where at the 1-2 turn, if we start to get the run out on Tetairoa McMillan, we're talking about Tetairoa McMillan in the early 2nd round, joining somebody like Drake London from last year.
Absolutely. Like that's the trajectory that we're on. I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah, you love to see it. And look, Orande Gadsden, Jake Ferguson, Tetairoa McMillan, the prices are rising. People are aware, the market is aware, but at the same time, just understand there's going to be longevity and a lengthy amount of time that you can have these players on your roster. So it's definitely worth it. If you're buying to win, these are players you want to buy now. And even if that price spike is there, sometimes you got to pay up for something good. You want to go to a good restaurant, you want to pay up sometimes, and it's well worth that. So something here to think about. Don't always think about, hey, I missed out on last year's price or yesterday's price, because if you stay stuck, that price can go even up higher. It's kind of like the stock market. Hey, I like the stock at $5, and now I don't want it at $10, but then at $20, you wish you got it at 10. So this is just a situation where you want to buy all three and send spam offers, fair offers, strong offers, and see what you can get. Just keep working the phones, right? Smile and dial and get those trades done. I've been Coach. This has been Chev. We are the Trade Gods.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.